Please put your hands together, make some noise, and give a warm yell or a welcome to tonight's first comic, Joel Stetler!
All right. Okay, I've got to level with you guys right off the bat. I am a former youth pastor. Now, I am acutely aware that when I say former youth pastor, all of you are like, what'd you do? So whatever you're thinking, I'm not that kind of former youth pastor. I'm the kind that got a terminal cancer diagnosis in the middle of his existential crisis. So it's okay, classic mix-up. I'm going to be talking about cancer tonight, though. I hope that's okay, because why do we come to places like this if not to laugh at the most absurd things in the human experience? And I've been living with and being in treatment for a very rare and incurable cancer. Started in my leg, it's in my lungs, stage 4, for over 9 years. And I got to tell you, it's ridiculous. My first oncologist told me I had a 3 to 5% chance of living beyond 5 years. He said that 9 years ago, so fuck that guy. That's actually what my second oncologist said, so second opinion. I cannot stress how important those are. A lot of people call cancer a journey. I still don't know how I feel about that, a journey. I mean, sure, if you mean the kind where you board the wrong flight and somehow it's all middle seats and the pilot gets on and he's like, hey, we're going to have about a 3 to 5% chance of landing this thing. We'll try to make you feel comfortable. A journey. I don't know, what if I took the worst thing that ever happened to you, romanticized it with some journey language? Oh, you walked into an open manhole, shattered all your limbs. Gotta say, I'm really inspired by your gravity journey. So here's the thing, I propose we come up with better terms to describe the cancer experience. I don't know, like a predicament, or I don't know, a shit hand. Whatever you decide to call it, I'm gonna just laugh at it. Because if I'm not laughing at this predicament I'm in, what am I doing, just sitting in it? Languishing? That's not for me. I'd rather make it weird for everybody. Like, I don't know, I used to get shy when nurses would tell me to take my shirt off for appointments. But after 10 years of being poked and prodded and radiated into oblivion, poisoned with chemo and carved up like a jack-o'-lantern on operating tables, I don't even use the changing rooms at the beach anymore. My kids are like, Dad! Except my daughter, she's a teenager, so with her everything is Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, Dad! People are like, you really shouldn't let her use the Lord's name in vain like that. And here's the thing. I used to be a pastor, so I get where people think they're coming from when they say things like this. But I still know my Bible better than most people that like to use it as a bludgeoning tool. So, don't use the Lord's name in vain. You must be talking about the third commandment from Exodus and Deuteronomy. Well, when the third commandment was written, it wasn't talking about Jesus Christ because Jesus of Nazareth hadn't even been born yet. It was talking about Yahweh or Yeshua, depending on which ancient text you're cherry picking from. The idea of shouting Jesus Christ when your dog shat on the carpet really didn't come around until after the idea of Christianity being translated into Greek and Latin and eventually English to be used in public school board meetings. And it wasn't talking about saying, oh my God, when you're excited or annoyed. It was talking about not using the name of God as a shield to excuse your innate sense of xenophobia or as a weapon to tear others down. So, is my kid using your God and his name in vain? I don't think so. But maybe you should look it up in that book you wave around when you're bullying trans kids out of living their truth. So when people hear I left the church, they say things like, so cancer made you lose your faith. And I'm like, no, maybe. It's really the people I worked for that grease the wheels of the old deconstruction. Like this one elder, one of my bosses at our church, threatened to take my health insurance away after my diagnosis if I didn't give more money to the church. Yeah, that shit really happened. That's not a bit. So I decided a career change was in order when I learned that God had a copay. I teach public school now, 3rd grade, and I love it. I mean, say what you... Yeah, I'm a proud public educator. Say what you want about Common Core math, but nobody ever held up a math book and told me my kids were going to burn. And furthermore, these California math books have way less incest and genocide than my old required reading. It can be tough, though. Every fall, I get a new class, and I've got to sit them down and have that talk where I tell them I've got cancer. And every year, like clockwork, one kid will blurt out, "Mr. Stetler, are you dying?" It's actually something I love about kids. They don't sugarcoat, they get right to it. They don't try to romanticize it with journey language. They're like, "Mr. Stetler's in a predicament. Let's discuss." And I get excited about it. I gotta remind myself these kids are 8, 9 years old. Maybe pump the brakes on the philosophical rabbit holes in class. So I stop myself from getting all existential on them. Like, aren't we all dying, Tyler? I mean, think about it. From the moment we're born, life starts subtracting. Time isn't something we have. It's something we're actively losing. In fact, Tyler, biologically speaking, our cells are constantly deteriorating. Entropy is undefeated. So am I dying? Yes. But so are you, Tyler. We all are. The real question is, what are you going to do with those fleeting moments between now and the inevitable heat death of the universe? Anyway, open your math books up to page 12. Just had another lung surgery last month. At this point, I've had so many procedures done, I feel like Norm from Cheers. I just walk in and the nurses are like, "Joel!" And I'm like, "Just give me the usual." And they wheeled me into the operating room, and on the wall is a giant monitor with a big CT scan image of my lungs, with the cancer making them look like 2 big bags of golf balls. And I looked at it, and I was like, "I see you're a fan of my work." And yeah, see, you guys laugh, but in that operating room, it fucking killed. It's like, I think after what they see in a day, they've got like a really low bar for what's appropriate and funny. So they're laughing. I panic because I don't have a way to write this down. I keep a list of joke and story ideas in my phone, and in this operating room, all I had to my name was a backless gown and a hairnet for some reason. So anesthesiologist starts the drip, and as I'm fading away into that sweet, sweet slumber, I'm thinking, don't forget the joke. Don't forget the joke. During the surgery, they drained 4 liters of fluid from my lungs, and they installed this permanent chest tube in my left lung so I can drain it whenever I need to at home. The doctor literally said, "At your leisure." Because when I think leisure, I think, let's Capri Sun our vital organs. They wheel me into recovery. I'm waking up, I see my wife standing over me. She's like, "Hey, baby, how do you feel? The doctor said you did great." And I find my voice. "Amanda, write down this joke." She and I used to run a lot of marathons together before my diagnosis. And cancer and treatment just made running so hard. But with her being an exercise physiologist, she said to me, "Joel, even a headwind or an uphill stretch have their training benefits. Just keep cruising. You can't stop, won't stop moving." She's like a Swiftie, Marcus Aurelius. So we go on and run some coast-to-coast post-diagnosis marathons. She even trained me to run 37 miles on my 37th birthday. But it's a terrible habit. I do not recommend it. There was not a 38, 39, 40, 41. There will not be a 42. But eventually cancer caught up. I didn't say I was a fast runner. But nowadays, my lungs feel like something I bought from IKEA, like made out of wood, and it's probably on the verge of collapse. But Amanda is studying neuroscience in her doctoral program. And she knows people, and what people need is a good rhythm to keep themselves pushing through a crisis. So she got me to lean more into drumming, which is what I'd been doing when we first met about 21 years ago. But she was subtle about it. She didn't just say like, oh, why don't you go find some other bored dads and start a ska band? No, she got my best friends together, and behind my back, they hatched this plan to subliminally plant this idea in my head, get this, that I should play drums with the Killers. Yeah, you guys know the Killers. Open up my eager eyes, because I'm Mr. Yeah! Oh, do we just have a moment? Yeah, that's the millennial anthem right there. They'd send me some YouTube links being like, oh, well, check out this random guy in Scotland. He's playing drums with the Killers. That's cool. And I'd be like, I'm a random guy in California. The Killers are coming to California. That should be me. And Amanda's like, that's a great idea. Go get them. There's going to be no small feat, though. They've played for the likes of Barack Obama, Yo Gabba Gabba. So I start practicing more than anyone with a life should. I practice in the dark. I practice with the TV on. I practice with other audio in the background. I even practice with one drumstick instead of two, in case I got sweaty palms and send lumber flying into the crowd like a AAA baseball player. We go to LA for the concert, and I got to tell you something about me and concerts. Anyone I go to, I show up with this childlike hope and belief that at any moment a panicked roadie runs out on stage and goes, "Is anybody here a drummer?" Because you never know, drummers just sometimes explode. I've seen Spinal Tap. But instead of waiting for tragedy to hit Ronnie Vannucci Jr., he's their drummer, he's a national treasure, I made a sign. The sign said, "Fighting cancer, ready to play drums on reasons." That's the song. And yes, I played the cancer card. It may be a shit hand, but I'm going to play the hell out of it. We show up to the venue. We have some floor tickets. We get our way up to the front. And I say to Amanda and our friends, I'm only holding the sign up in between songs. Because I'm of the opinion that when you're at a concert, and somebody holds up a sign through the songs, that we should just take that person and throw them into the sun. Even so, I thought everyone around us would be annoyed. They get one look at my sign, they're like, "This is a reasonable request, we must help him." So, the first song ends, lights go down, my sign goes up, and everyone in a 20-foot radius gets out their phones and shines their lights on my sign. So, it happens. Halfway through the set, Brandon Flowers, the voice of Mr. Brightside, stops everything and he points at my sign. Spotlight finds me. I'm standing there lit up like a raccoon on a parking lot trash can. He says, "Do you know reasons well enough to play it?" Now, I had thought that should the voice of Mr. Brightside ever turn its attention on me, that I'd have something profound or Shakespearean to say in response. But instead, I just hold up my thumb like Goofy when he's asked if he knows how to pilot an airplane. Like, oh gosh. They throw me behind the drums. I'm freaking out, you guys. Because suddenly this song I'd come to know better than the wallpaper at the cancer center now feels like I'm about to try to recreate the Mayan calendar from memory. Brandon comes back to the drums. He asks me my name, and I'm like, what's my name? What's your name? What's in a name? Oh, there's a Shakespeare, by the way. He kicks off this song. I feel like I've just jumped onto a moving train, but I look out and I can see my wife's face, and I can find my rhythm again. And given where we're at tonight, I wish I could tell you something hilarious happened. But the song goes off without a hitch. No flying drumsticks, no getting booed off stage. I even got a smile from guitarist Dave Kooning, which for some reason felt like I got my daughter's cat to like me or something. We finished the song with a trash can ending. Brandon invites me to the front of the stage for a selfie with him and Ronnie. I somehow float back to my spot with Amanda and our friends, which, by the way, our friend group got a lot bigger while I was gone. And then a party ensues. Johnny Marr was there, so he played some Smiths with the Killers. Lindsey Buckingham was there. They played Fleetwood Mac together. And then they end with Mr. Brightside, but all I could do was just stand there with tunnel vision and be like, what just happened? But now I can tell you what happened. See, sometimes in life we're going along, we think we got a good groove going, but then life comes, kicks the door open, and unplugs a jukebox like some sort of evil Fonzie, like, hey, you got cancer. But if you're lucky, you've got someone like Amanda there to help you find that part of you that's always been you, keeping the beat since the day you were born. The problem is sometimes we can't hear it because life gets so noisy. Maybe we don't even hear it for years. So when life kicks the door in, stops the music, you've got an opportunity to lean in and listen for that beat again. And if you can find it, then you can try to be part of the music. And if you can let yourself be part of the music, then when the music inevitably stops again, it always has a way of doing that sometimes. You can stand up and look out and realize you had people singing along with the whole damn song. And then you realize that Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius was really onto something when he said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. And holy shit, you guys, I think I went on a cancer journey. Thank you guys, I'm Joel Stetler.